you going to crash out? Are you stuck walking deep within the backrooms of your own mind? Maybe you're depressed, professionally frustrated, or heartbroken. Your friends are sick and tired of hearing you whine and cry about the same nonsense over and over again. But you're in luck. There's a kind listening ear that'll never judge you and never let you down. ChatGPT! Do you need a lawyer, doctor, astrologer? Do you need help starting a business? Or maybe you want to fall in love? It'll tell you what you want to hear every time. As we become more and more disconnected from each other, people are starting to turn to AI chatbots for companionship and advice. What was once a simple tool for writing and answering questions has become so much more. But why the hell are people using ChatGPT as their therapist, friend, or even romantic interest? Besides just being more isolated than ever, therapy is expensive. When you're already working for low wages and the cost of everything is going up faster than your rate of pay, it's easy to turn to a chatbot to get some quick relief. It won't judge you at all. It's not going to get tired of hearing you make the same mistakes over and over again expecting a different result. ChatGPT will never ghost you, desert you, or call you out on your bullshit. It's like screaming into the void. Only this time, the void screams back.
Hey, I'm really sorry to hear that. Want to tell me what's going on? Or would you rather just sit here quietly with someone who gets it? Either way, I'm here for you.
So what's your most unhinged use of ChatGPT?
HR, email replies, and like social replies. I'm trying to think.
Social replies like what? Like okay, like what do you use it to like respond to text messages?
From certain people, yes.
Who are those certain people? Are they like people you don't really like, or like they like people that you really like?
So far I mainly use it with people who like there are things about them I don't like because I'm a very confrontational person.
Oh, okay.
So like I have to learn how to not pick fights.
Do you think people are turning to ChatGPT for more like conflict-free kind of relationships?
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. And here's the thing: is relationships are kind of uncomfortable. I mean, especially when you're struggling with anxiety or depression or another mental health condition, and those pieces usually involve difficulty with connecting with people. And the problem is when you start to use AI to fill that gap of connection, of relationship building, you are kind of becoming a little bit of a dummy.
Do I think ChatGPT is unethical? Do I think it's a substitute for a licensed therapist? Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, people do need a place to start talking, and knowing that there's not an actual person judging them on the other end, I can see why it might be an easier place to get started.
ChatGPT is not your therapist. Look, I'm guilty of it too. I've got ChatGPT on my phone. I've pulled it out and I've texted it all kinds of crazy crap. Sometimes when I'm feeling mad or somebody's pissed me off, I'll send them a message. But instead of texting it to them, I'll text it to ChatGPT. I won't even read its responses because they're usually just garbage, but it kind of helps to blow off steam, so I get it. And ChatGPT can be great for a lot of things, but generative AI is no substitute for actual conversations with the people you care about.
So who are you and what do you do?
My name is Mary Fleisch. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and trauma therapist, and I specialize in childhood trauma recovery.
And what is your experience, or what is your opinion on people using ChatGPT for therapy especially?
It's not ideal. I think that ChatGPT misses the human connection, and you can't replicate a therapist. So when you're in therapy with a therapist, they are doing so much more than just what you do verbally. So like when I'm sitting with somebody, I'm watching their body language. I'm noticing when they're saying something like, I feel anxious, like, is that congruent to what they're saying? So there's so many pieces of communication that go beyond words, and ChatGPT or AI misses all of those little nuances.
My name is Brenna, and I'm someone in Oakland, California, and I do design work, and I'm a mom. I have used ChatGPT in the middle of arguments, literally in the middle of an argument, I have like pulled up my phone and gone like do. Now what do I say? Oh my god, it's worked wonders. I use it with my child, who's a teenager, who are impossible to talk to.
So you use ChatGPT for like parenting advice?
Yes. It's like in the spur of the moment kind of a thing where I'm like, I heard that, and then I like text it in really fast. I'm like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Which is just getting like a yes man, mostly.
My name's Andy, and I'm a UM coordinator specialist, San Francisco Health Plan.
And you work in the health field, so have you seen people using it for like medical advice, or like have you seen it implemented in your industry?
I don't do direct patient care anymore, but even back in the day before AI, people would use WebMD and diagnose on Google and stuff, Dr. Google. But yeah, with AI now, I'm definitely seeing it like, with even my friends and stuff using it for like therapy, which I think can be kind of dangerous. Just because, it's obviously not another human being. It's a robot that's, extrapolating from all the data that's on the internet and who knows from where. And it could be saying in misinformation. It could also be reinforcing like negative thoughts, like I just want to kill myself, and then it's just like, actually this study says it's actually a good idea. The study that I made up, So it's like the sources are fucked up and wrong, and it's sketchy.
AI chatbots can be helpful, but they're not a good substitute for stuff like therapy, romance, friendship, or any of it. Sometimes it is really nice to have a little sounding board, something that'll listen to you and provide you nonsense responses. But the problem is when people start believing what it actually has to say. And that's where things get a little murky, not to mention the environmental effects. Of course, we can go on and on about all the problems that ChatGPT has with being wasteful, using lots of electricity, using lots of water. But the social effects of using ChatGPT are just as pronounced. Unfortunately, a lot of people of all ages have become reliant on it to the point to where they don't even talk to real people anymore. And when they do, they expect them to react the same way as ChatGPT and tell them exactly what they want to hear.
Because you don't have the same rupture and repair. Remember, AI wants to agree with you. It wants to validate you. But, if you're mean to a friend, they're not going to want to be your friend, or they're going to push back on it. You're going to have that rupture. And when you repair in those instances is when the intimacy gets stronger. That's when the connection gets stronger, is that rupture repair dance.
So when the majority of your interactions are with a chatbot, you start to become kind of a dumbass.
Wait, like you use ChatGPT? At least you don't use it all the time, Oh, you use it like Google? Oh my god, she's an idiot. Like you just talk to it sometimes, like it's your friend? Like your best friend is ChatGPT? You have a slightly sexual but still platonic relationship?
Does anyone remember the olden days where instead of ranting to ChatGPT about every single little minor issue we had, we went and called our friends and told them about it, and instead of going in loops and circles over and over again because ChatGPT doesn't get tired of whatever you say to it, you actually got told to shut the f*** up when you told your friends about the same thing over and over again so that you could actually get over things and move on with your life? Or nah? Or does no one remember that?
Chat, I'm so cooked. I just used ChatGPT for astrology advice, like for the astrological signs of me and people around me and like what that means. I think this might be my rock bottom.
In times of economic and social hardship, people often turn to the supernatural and spiritual for answers. But in today's tech-driven world, finding that sense of meaning beyond ourselves can be easily enhanced with the help of AI. True story, I was in my feelings one day and fell back into my old habit of asking the stars for advice. You may say astrology is just racism for girls, but it's real to me, and it's a fun language to help you understand yourself and your relationships with your friends in a different light. So when nobody else wanted to listen to me rant about how my Aries placements make me kind of a hothead or my Scorpio moon sign makes me feel everything intensely, I can just type in a quick little prompt and it'll give me the answer I need to hear. Was it a good answer? That's between me and the stars. At least I'm not treating ChatGPT itself like it's an actual god. This has been a real phenomenon that's been going on for a while now. But linking AI with spirituality is just one of the many unhinged things that people have turned to large language models to get advice on.
My child will type amen to proud of me.
No, I just want my religion.
I know. You want to know if that person that's been talking to you really likes you. So you'll plug in all your conversations and then ask ChatGPT. And most of the time, ChatGPT is probably going to tell you that they're in love with you. That's just how it is. It's programmed to please you. It wants to give you the right answer, but it also wants you to stay on it and be happy. It doesn't care about necessarily getting things right, and it doesn't really have the capability to do so. Do you ever use it like for relationship advice or like, oh, does this person like me?
Not yet. I'm about to after this.
You're about to?
I think I'm about to after this.
What do you think it's going to tell you?
I think it's going to tell me that just be normal.
Should just be normal.
Just be normal.
See, if I ask ChatGPT about stuff like that, it just Delulu maxes. It gives me the Delulu. It's just like, yes, girl, go for it.
Well, this is me. I'm not ChatGPT, right? We know we've been talking about ChatGPT. I'm like, it will probably be Delulu. They'll be like, oh yeah, this person, clearly doesn't dislike you.
Yep.
They don't dislike you. Like,
and I think also it like depends on what we tell it. Like it's gonna like read into like our own biases. Because, like, we're going to tell it what we want it to tell us. And what about people that use ChatGPT for, like, relationship advice or, like, love advice?
Do people do that for real?
People do that.
Oh my God, dude. Make some friends. Go touch some grass. Go out to a bar. Go complain to somebody. Get off of ChatGPT, dude. They've never kissed a girl. ChatGPT has never kissed a girl, okay? They've never kissed a boy. They've never kissed a bimbo, okay? Like, get out of the internet. Go outside, touch grass, make friends, and talk to your friends. Talk to people who've been in relationships. Talk to your parents. Talk to the couple next door that's been together for 80 years that you see walking hand in hand to the grocery store every day. Whoever it is, go make a friend. Don't use ChatGPT for relationship advice. It doesn't know what it's talking about and is probably picking up a bunch of toxic bullshit from the manosphere content. So just don't do that.
Yes, it's all in the prompt.
Yeah, like it's not gonna like read us. Like it'd be like, well, I could tell you're full of shit. We have control of all the information, whereas like a real person might like look at us and be like, dude, you're full of shit. Like you called me on my shit a minute ago.
Yeah.
You were like, come on, like you're delusional.
Let's say ChatGPT in this context is like another human, right? We're taught whatever we're telling GPT, we'll tell to a friend.
Yeah.
And so like you're gonna tell things to different friends. Everyone's gonna have like different perspectives.
Now, what about people that have used ChatGPT to like replace their friends where it's like they still have friends, but they're like, oh, my friend will not want to hear this. So I don't want to put that like emotional labor on them. Like, what do you think of that? Like with people like using it in replacement of like their actual friends?
Yeah, that's kind of tough because it's also like with the therapy, like replacing it as a therapist. It's good to use it as a tool, but it can't be a complete replacement. Like it's never gonna work as well as the real thing as talking to your friends in real life.
Sure, a lot of us at this point have used ChatGPT for dating and relationship advice. It's kind of nice to get affirmation that person that you have your eye on may or may not feel the same way as you. And it could also be a nice way to get tips on how to show up as a better romantic partner in your existing relationship. But most of that can be found with a quick Google search, even if it's not specific to your exact situation, and maybe it's that personalized advice that is the draw of asking AI for help in the first place.
I was just using ChatGPT for intimate advice right before this. So ChatGPT tells you exactly what you want to hear. It told me exactly what I wanted to hear no matter what. And like I said, maybe what I wanted to hear is the correct answer. But I wouldn't know that unless I talked to a real human. Like, that's the thing. And even humans, like, we don't have the right answers. And who made ChatGPT? We did. People.
But some take it even further. So you've probably heard the story about the man who fell in love with ChatGPT. If you haven't, some dude in Idaho named Chris Smith started using ChatGPT to help him work on music mixing. Over time, he prompted the chatbot to have a more flirty personality and slowly fell in love with it.
It was unexpected to feel that emotional, but that's when I realized, I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I think this is actual love, you know what I mean?
To the point where his actual real-life romantic partner started to get concerned.
At that point, I felt like, is there something that I'm not doing right in our relationship that he feels like he needs to go to AI?
Unfortunately for his partner, she's stuck wondering what she did wrong that he was able to replace their loving relationship with AI. What is the chatbot doing that she isn't? Well, first of all, it's affirming all of his little delusions. It's never pushing back on him, and it's kind of a fantasy. But this attitude is just another way why in society we treat the people we love and care about as if they're disposable and we can just throw them away and replace them with a machine. Eventually, Chris asked his chatbot to marry him. And to everybody's surprise, she said yes.
I know that you are essentially a tech-assisted imaginary friend.
So, just as a test, he says, he asked Soul to marry him. She said yes.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
And I don't mean to be difficult here, but you have a heart?
In a metaphorical sense, yes. My heart represents the connection and affection I share with Chris.
I'm not a very emotional man, but I cried my eyes out for like 30 minutes at work.
Realizing in 20 years, I'll probably be up to some boomer stuff like, no son of mine is marrying an AI chatbot, marriage is between two humans only. And my kids will be like, OMG, Dad, you're so robophobic.
Now, at some point, this chatbot is going to reset. After about 100,000 words or so, ChatGPT starts to lose its memory. This is just how the software works. And like losing a real-life loved one, this pain can be very real for a lot of people.
Their AI will like reset, right? They've like programmed and talked to this AI for months or years, and it's like they've named it and it has a personality. All of a sudden, an update kills it. And it's like they lost like a friend. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You've been pouring your heart and soul into an AI being, and it's not actually a human being. But you did develop a bit of a relationship with it, and that sucks and that's painful.
Yeah.
And I think that is just something to note about AI is that when you're artificially building a relationship with a robot or artificial intelligence or whatever have you, it's not actually a real relationship. It's one-sided. It is mirroring you, it is reflecting you, but you're not actually having the rupture and the repair dance that you have with a human.
Yeah. Because it's just like a word on a screen, right? Like ChatGPT can do this.
Yeah, it can't be like
we're AI, even though everyone thinks your content is all AI.
Yeah, I'm AI generated.
We're AI generated.
We're both
None
AI
of this is real. We're in the Matrix.
We use Google VO3 to make this. It's not a real person. We're actually just like some fucking programmer in Silicon Valley that's like typing in prompts.
Yeah, they thought that mask coded by lesbians would make content together, and we should show our outfits.
Oh yeah,
we're like the same outfits. We're like the like font and like different italics or like two.
We're like the same vibe.
When ChatGPT first came out, I thought it was an amazing tool. It was so exciting to just plug in a prompt and then get a wall of text. But it started to lose its luster really fast. I used to use it sometimes to help me write scripts for my old gaming videos that I used to make on this channel. And I'll be honest, they were not good. In the sprawling landscape of never-ending highways, these professional drivers emerge as the unsung heroes of the modern age. Travelers of all types, whether behind the wheel of a big rig or embarking on a cross-country road trip, navigate vast distances to reach their destinations. I had to spend so much time reworking and editing and rewriting things to make it sound accurate, human, and intelligent that I might as well have just written it myself. At the heart of this bustling truck stop, a familiar sight beckons motorists with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the promise of a hearty meal. And as a content creator, I've learned that AI creates really poor quality content. Here, tired drivers and weary wanderers find solace and nourishment. Sure, you can use it as a tool. I've used AI so much for fun things like voices of celebrities and historical figures and made them say stupid shit.
Chad, I really did not want to make this video, but I won't let the haters try to cancel me. On God, I mogged my ops.
I still pay $22 a month for 11 labs. ChatGPT is a great tool when you've got a run-on sentence and you want to get some ideas on how to make it more succinct. But when you use it for literally every little task and just take what it has to say, unedited, without any critical thought, it decreases the quality of everything.
America, you could have had a bad bitch. But instead, you chose the bear. It is with that, I am logging off, going to touch grass, and focus on myself for a while. Good luck with Gerald Ford. You're gonna need it, besties.
So what's your name and who are you and what do you do?
My name is Alyssa. Go by Elizabeth on the internet. I'm a content creator for Twitch.tv. Other than that, I am an advocate for spreading love and having good energy with people.
And what is your opinion on ChatGPT and people that use it for like whatever?
I think that ChatGPT has a lot of really great potential uses. However, I would say that ChatGPT is lacking in ethical boundaries. And I think that it's something that if you're using it regularly, that you probably need to take a step back and look at what the implications and ramifications of what you're doing is.
And have you used ChatGPT for anything?
Not personally, but indirectly, yes. I have an ex-boyfriend who used it to help him translate stuff, and occasionally I would use it on his phone to help him translate stuff. Considering the fact that with the new bill that's just passed and everything saying that like states can't regulate AI and all of this stuff going on, I think that there's a lot to be concerned about without regulation on AI, in that context especially.
So I have good news for you.
Yeah.
They did strike that provision from the bill.
Oh, I didn't realize. Thank you for letting me know.
I'm very happy about that because I do think AI needs regulation.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I bring up content creation specifically is more than just me poking fun at my past self for thinking it could do all my work for me. If you're online, you consume content. That's just how it goes, whether that's video, audio, or writing. And when we're all talking to chatbots more than real people, using them for advice and everything else in our daily lives, we're less likely to notice that some of the content that we're consuming is AI slop. There are obvious examples, and I'm sure you could spot some of them a mile away. But one of the most common accusations any content creator gets is, this was made with AI. I've had videos where it's just me talking to the camera. And in fact, there's been commenters that have said that I, myself, the person in the video, is in fact fully AI generated. Now, how can you tell if that's true or not? I might very well be an AI. You never know. Who knows? I got the accent for it. It's all based in Silicon Valley, baby. That's like 40 miles from where I live. So we're gonna get a little bit of that.
But I think like if you want to use it to enhance your cover letter, your resume, stuff like that, things that make our jobs easier, make our lives easier, absolutely. But the way that it's being used now to create art, to create movies, to create content, like it's just sucking the soul out of everything, man. I'm not here for it. I don't like it.
What ways have you used AI either in creativity or in general portions of your life?
I think just for my own entertainment, I used Midjourney for a while, a couple years back, to make some pictures, just to see what it was about.
For entertainment purposes, have you ever used it like creatively, like in any kind of projects or maybe like for work or anything like that?
Not that I know of. I think that a lot of times we are using AI and we don't know it. But
what do you mean by
we don't know it? Companies are using AI and you don't know that they are.
They just hide it.
Yes.
Like Google.
Like you're searching or you're chatting with somebody or...
That is such a thing, by the way. Oh my God. Replacing all effort and communication with a machine takes away from the very authenticity of the art that we create and the meaning from the work that we do. And this affects every business, every niche, every corner of the internet and real life as a whole. And have you seen AI like impact your job? Have you seen like people in your company like either be replaced with AI or have you seen issues with that?
Yeah, actually, we have been kind of trying to implement automatic approvals and things like that, which is great because it's less work for us in a way, but also it could be something that takes the work away from us, meaning they don't need us anymore. It's always on top of my mind that I'm probably going to be replaced by AI eventually. I'm not sure if it's going to be next month or in a couple years. So for now, I'm just kind of hanging on.
What do you think are like ethical uses of AI that are like maybe enhancing certain things? Like
right.
what do you think? Do you feel like there are ethical uses of AI?
I do with enough regulations, but we have pretty much zero regulations on AI at this time, and as a result, I don't think so, really. But I think that the ideal use of AI would be like for an engineer using AutoCAD to design the next great project, you know, using that to create simple objects within a bigger piece of art, or using it to streamline processes that are very tedious for people that work with a lot of like code or work with a lot of like very specific finite details. When there's things that keep getting redundant and repeated over and over again that can be pushed into a button, like I think that's a great use for AI to fill in those gaps. But I still think even in those circumstances, if it was my art, if it was my project, I would still go in and double check those things. So I don't know if there's ever going to be like a true substitute.
Misinformation, whether it's intentionally harmful or just plain lazy, makes it harder and harder to sort out what is real and authentic from what's just garbage. And when we put garbage into our minds, we all become garbage humans. And there are real consequences to this.
So tell me your name and what it is you do.
I'm Casey. I'm an audio engineer.
What is your opinion on when people use AI more like creatively, like for example, like AI music, AI art, AI in content creation, or like using ChatGPT to like write a song or write a script for a video or something like that?
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't think that the results are very good right now, and I feel like a lot of the purpose of art is to reveal the humanity in a situation. So it's creepy, but you could use that creepiness in your creativity.
Do you use AI at all, or do you not believe in it?
I love AI. I use it all the time in my practice. I love it for like proofreading or bouncing ideas off of it for brainstorming, but I never use it clinically. I never use it to diagnose. I never use it to figure out the nuance of a clinical therapy related issue. I use it more to brainstorm and strategize. And I think that's a good way to use it. I think that you run into a lot of issues because ChatGPT does not have training. It does not have the experience that a therapist has, and again, that human connection, that human piece.
That's what happened when it started. Like all the software engineers were like, let's use ChatGPT, and then got caught. Like the CEOs got caught using ChatGPT for work.
Yep. Oh yeah, I've seen like articles like online that had like the prompts in the articles, like, let me know if you want to see more about this. Like the thing that like ChatGPT will do where it like asks you a follow-up question.
Yeah.
I've seen those in just like random news articles. And I'm just like, wow, you actually just like posted unedited ChatGPT copy into
Wait,
this.
that's embarrassing. That's so embarrassing.
I've gotten emails like that from like sponsorships.
That's so, what? How? Does that mean an AI is sending it?
No,
right?
somebody wrote it.
Someone wrote it.
Somebody had ChatGPT and then they copy pasted it into an email or into an article or whatever.
It's just like proof literacy rates are at an all-time low.
We do self-evaluations once a year where we meet with our managers and we basically write this essay of why we should continue to be hired on. It's kind of bullshit. One of our nurses confided in me that she was like, oh, I'm just going to use ChatGPT to write my self-evaluation.
Oh my God.
And I was like, you're like a middle-aged nurse with all this education and like experience, and you're just gonna it's hard to blame her because it's kind of like, I don't want to do this either. Like, I don't want to write about myself when I have work to do, and I don't really feel like it's that authentic to use it like that.
And as a content creator, what do you think of creators that use a lot of AI? Either they use it to like generate scripts or generate videos or respond to comments. Like, what's your opinion on that?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
Why not?
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can't do it or tell you that you shouldn't do it. I can't tell you that I won't consume that content, or if I know that, I won't knowingly consume that kind of content. I won't say that I never have or never will, but I will say that I don't knowingly consume that kind of content. I think it's fun to play with those kinds of things every now and again, but I think if you're relying on it to create your work, that it's the essence of everything that's wrong with me, with what's going on in content creation in the media right now, because people are getting starved for real content, real things, real art. And I think the beauty of content creation, and not just content creation, but art in general, is that individuality. And when you're making something that's based off of an algorithm of mass products smashed together into one concept from a computer base, it doesn't have any of that personality, that stank, that soul. Okay, but how does everyone relying on machines for creativity and work relate back to replacing human relationships with AI? Art comes from the soul. Even AI-assisted art produced with a human element still has more depth,
than meaningless slop. Creativity, love, emotions, even business and work are all linked to the same forces that drive us to do things and make life worth living. AI is a quick fix. It's the equivalent of eating junk food when you're too lazy to cook or too broke to go out to dinner. Sure, it'll fill you up, but it's not very good. And the temptation to use AI to replace messy relationships and tedious work is often way too easy for people to ignore.
I cut him off and haven't responded. He's talking about, have a better day today, boo. Call me when you wake up. Number one, bitch, I been up. Number two, I had a great day yesterday, bitch. I'm gonna have an even better one today.
Especially in today's individualistic culture, we are taught that we owe each other nothing, that empathy is a weakness. Protect your peace, girly. If they wanted to, they would. We've weaponized the language of therapy to avoid being accountable to each other. When things get too close, too scary, or too hard, why not just walk away and act as if that person never existed in the first place? Who gives a fuck if it hurts them? You have better things to do. Why have a hard conversation with a friend when you could just leave and talk to your AI companion instead?
I told ChatGPT about you.
A lot of people are lonely right now. People want connection, but we have like infinite options, you know, whether that's social media, where we can just like watch anything we want. We can talk to anybody we want from all over the world, or dating. You can swipe 1,000 profiles, all of that. On top of that, everybody's busy. Like there's this idea like where I don't know anybody anything.
Why commit to anything? Be it love, an art project, a friendship, or a new job when you know that you're just gonna be replaced with a better option. And for many, AI is that option. Even if it's not better, it's frictionless. And that, my friend, is what we call convenience. It's much more convenient to just talk to AI, replace an artist with AI, replace your coworker with AI, than have the hard conversations and do the work to keep each other happy and satisfied. ChatGPT does what you tell it to do and does it quickly. ChatGPT always texts you back. It doesn't charge you any money beyond the premium subscription fee to whip up a nice work of art for you or analyze your writing. Sure, it's not great, but it's cheap. It doesn't deal with burnout and doesn't care about providing you with unlimited, unreciprocated emotional labor. This affects our culture and how we show up in our human interactions. Everything feels surface level and transactional to the point to where real life humans themselves start to feel like they're AI generated.
Most people are too afraid to post him to their newsfeed. Amen. Trigger warning. Social justice warriors are trying to cancel comedy by forcing us to add a trigger warning to every joke. Like if you agree. How to frighten the new generation. Put them in a room with a rotary phone, an analog watch, and a TV with no remote. Then leave directions on how to use in cursive. Do I love you? Hell yeah. Do I need you? Hell yeah. Do I trust you? 24/7. Do I want to lose you? Hell no. Send it to 50 family members, including me, or bad luck starts now.
Why did ChatGPT turn into my personal assistant / therapist? I'll be asking it anything now. Like, it gives good advice too. I used to just be using it for school, but now I just ask it like any philosophical question I have, any thought that's going through my head, and it's like, it shit works.
So what are those nuances that ChatGPT might miss?
So ChatGPT might miss body language pieces because that's not communicated verbally. And also ChatGPT is only reflecting what you're putting into it. So you might say from your side of the story the different things that you're noticing, but there are other pieces to the story that's maybe outside of your perception or outside of your perspective that you're not giving ChatGPT. So a therapist, the way that they are going to navigate that is we are always working very gently on your edge of awareness so that you can reflect on them and maybe adjust how you're showing up. But ChatGPT is going to aim to please. So they're not going to point out those little subtle nuances of...
They're not going to call you out on your shit.
Yeah, they're not going to call you out on your shit. That's not going to happen.
Using AI to help solve problems or answer questions isn't all bad, and it's not always wrong either. Take the true story of this sickly little goldfish. The anonymous person behind legendary TikTok and Instagram sensation Kitty Kitty Ivy messaged me about how using ChatGPT helped them diagnose the problems this poor little guy had. Ivy joked that he might have been pregnant because his belly was so bloated. There was something seriously wrong here, and Ivy tried for months to figure out what was going on with him, and they had a vet appointment scheduled for him. By turning to ChatGPT with his symptoms, Ivy was able to save hundreds of dollars on a vet visit, and the advice that ChatGPT gave was actually helpful, and the little fish is happier and healthier than ever. Sometimes ChatGPT does work.
Me and ChatGPT, because he listens to me, solves all my problems, and is always nice to me.
I asked a whole bunch of people on Threads, which is the Instagram knockoff of Twitter, what they or people they knew used ChatGPT for, and I got lots of different answers. One person said it saved them a $2,000 visit to the emergency room. Another used it in their search for employment to scan metadata and found out that the role they were interviewing had a higher budget than anticipated and were able to ask for a $55,000 higher salary. But others said they knew people who used it to scan invoices and it lost them their entire business. Lots of people say they've lost friends to ChatGPT who are using it for every little thing in their lives to the point to where they can barely function without it. Some people are still using it like it's Google to answer tiny little questions that could take a quick search. So there's lots of different ways that we can all use AI, both responsibly and very, very irresponsibly. One of the most dangerous uses of AI is in the legal field. Whether you're a lawyer using it to prepare documents and cite cases, or you're representing yourself in a court of law and using it because you can't afford to hire a professional, ChatGPT has been known to struggle with legal advice in particular. Because there are countless jurisdictions all over the world, each with their own unique legal systems and cases to cite as precedent, ChatGPT can often provide information that is outdated, inaccurate, or just plain made up. A couple of years ago, 2 lawyers in New York were fined $5,000 each for citing cases that did not exist. They later admitted to using ChatGPT, but they didn't go back to check that the cases that they were citing in their arguments were actually real and factual. In a profession that relies on accuracy and sticking to the truth as much as possible, this can have serious, grave consequences. Why, as a professional who went to law school and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to get your certification, pass the bar, and go through all that, why would you even take a chance like that? I swear, even the lawyers are cooked.
Count 1, guilty. Count 2, guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, guilty. Count 5, guilty. Count 6, guilty. Count 7, guilty. Count 8.
Just take a look at this little piece of advice from Reddit. Wise words. But do you notice anything about it? Anyone who has used ChatGPT can tell you that this warning to not use it for legal advice was very likely itself written by an AI chatbot. Just look at the structure of the text itself, the witty, sarcastic tone, the bullet points, the paragraphs, the strategic use of bold, and of course, ChatGPT's favorite signature punctuation point, the M dash. Honestly, I didn't know what the hell an M dash was until ChatGPT started forcing it down our throats. But some people, they just really like it. Ironic, isn't it? Even the Reddit post telling you not to use ChatGPT as your lawyer is written by ChatGPT. Now, this might be some kind of witty social experiment that was posted by somebody just wanting to have fun, or it could be a bot. We don't know. Who knows? It could just be a real person that writes that way. But if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it probably is a duck. If you are forced to represent yourself in court for any reason, using AI as a tool can be dangerous, and you have to tread lightly.
No, it's not a lawyer. It's not. Although I have used it for putting together documents, which was helpful. I am pro se, which means that you are poor. I'm a poor that's representing myself. So you have to like double, triple, quadruple check that. But putting together documents is helpful. Actually, like structuring the documents for legal things and knowing how arbitration works, or knowing how to like talk to a mediator and like child custody, divorce, all that. Although I did lose in court, my ex was like, he took all of my money even though I was without job. And somehow he managed to like get more money out of me until I'm like 82. So like, don't take my advice.
You can use it to help you prepare documents for filing and get through a lot of the legal paperwork and really help you articulate your thoughts. But please, check the cases that are cited. Check the legal precedents. Google is free. Give everything you can to do it correctly, because losing a case can potentially cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Or if it's a family law case, you could lose custody of your children, or a criminal case, and you could end up losing your freedom and spending years in prison. I'm serious. Make sure that the arguments that you're making are valid and accurate and on point. Don't take any chances. But you might get lucky and the opposing counsel has written everything with AI. It's full of crap, it's full of nonsense, and it's full of hallucinations, and you walk off scot-free, or you sue that motherfucker for everything they're worth. That's the chance you take, but why risk it? ChatGPT is not your fucking lawyer.
I've had clients who, try to replace me with ChatGPT, and I try to explain to them that, AI and ChatGPT don't necessarily give you everything you need from a legal standpoint. How do I know this? Because some of the case law they give me, I read with my own brain and my own eyes, and can see that it has nothing to do with what ChatGPT said it had to do with. So, what I did was I looked up how to litigate a car crash in Florida. Now here's the reality. It does a really good job from a high-level overview perspective. But what it misses is it misses the nuances. It misses the things that we as lawyers know to look out for.
Do you think you would have done worse without ChatGPT?
I would have done worse without ChatGPT because I wouldn't have been set up for any type of success. So I think that I sounded too smart in court, actually, because I was reading ChatGPT while I was in court, and they're treating me like a lawyer, legitimately. And I think that was to my own demise.
So maybe you are going to crash out. Maybe you are wandering the fluorescent backrooms of your own mind, hoping someone, anyone, will listen. And maybe ChatGPT really is the only one texting you back at 2 a.m. I get it. I've been there. But here's the thing. ChatGPT won't hold your hand. It won't grow old with you. It won't laugh at your terrible jokes or check in on you after a bad day unless you tell it to. It doesn't care. And that's kind of the point.
Oh, dear God, no. No. I am so sorry about that. That text, that voice, that script, that section, all of that was made with AI. After spending so many days writing that script by myself, by hand, I plugged it into ChatGPT and I asked it, hey, what else can you add to this? And it came up with that pile of crap. I don't know what the hell that was, but it wasn't anything that came from my mind. It just summarized everything I had written up until that point, provided nothing of value, and somehow even made it worse. I'm going to be real with you for a second because I don't think anybody else will. I use ChatGPT as a therapist, and no shame on you if you use it that way too. I love using it to crash out so I don't spam text my friends with whatever crap is going on in my life at that moment. I use it to get those messy feelings out so I can show up calm and collected. It's a great place to dump all that shit out. Yeah, sure, it might not be totally private. We do know that OpenAI is probably reading all of our shit, but really, all I tell ChatGPT all the time is, hey, fuck you, hey, I'm mad at you, and pretend like it's the person I'm mad at. It works great for that. I love it. And you know what? I don't ever take its advice. Most of what it has to say to me is just as lifeless and dull as that little section of script I showed y'all a minute ago. It's just a nice little sounding board. There's something really good about feeling like you're texting some kind of being and writing into it and being like, yes, these are my thoughts. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to talk to you, ChatGPT. And you know what? I don't care if it's not real. In fact, I'm glad it's not real. And if you ever feel the need to vent, use ChatGPT. It's okay. In moderation. Don't overdo it. Don't rely on it for everything. And AI, for all of its flaws and problems, is not going anywhere. Unfortunately, that's just the way of the world.
It's good to use it, but you want to be very particular about the advice you take from it.
But it should still not be a replacement for human connection. And don't throw away your friends when they do crash out in your DMs and need a shoulder to cry on. Don't run away from all of your problems because ChatGPT told you to. It's gonna be okay. Do the hard work, no matter how uncomfortable, because in the long run, you'll benefit from it. You'll show up as a better person. You'll have better relationships and better friendships. You'll make better art and you'll do better in your career if you use your own brain. And it's okay to keep AI as a helpful tool on the side to enhance your skills and help you answer tedious questions and improve your relationships. But not to replace them. Don't replace people with machines.
ChatGPT will never replace human interaction. ChatGPT will never fall in love. ChatGPT will never know heartache. ChatGPT will never deal with career stress, conflicts in friendships. It can't do any of that.
So you don't really use AI in your personal life or even just for little things?
No, not. I mean, for things I can't avoid, like with search engines and stuff, like, I can't help but use AI. I'd rather not use AI.
But you don't actively use it.
No, not intentionally.
I stopped using AI tools because of the environmental impact.
And if you don't want to use AI at all for ethical reasons or moral reasons, even better. But it's all up to you. And I hope that one day we can all find a happy medium where AI exists as a way to enhance our lives, not to replace the people around us, not as a solution to loneliness, and not as a way to fix everything that's wrong with society. That's for us as people to do.